Welcome to my college experience. So I've been referring for ages now to a media short film that I've got to make for college. It's for media, right? Now it has to be a horror film, 2.5 minutes long maximum, and only be an opener for a film, so the first 2.5 minutes of a film. And has to be roughly PG-15 because I'm 16, right? Now, the making of this has been exhausting, but I've learned a lot from it. It's been a very informing and educative experience. I will say I prefer being on the front of the camera, not behind the camera. But for this, I was on both sides. During this video, you will see mini vlogs between me talking like this, sat on my bed, because I did some filming of me filming the assessment. So like every now and again, it'll cut to a segment of me vlogging. That way, it's not just listening to me talking for ages. Shemai on this excruciatingly hot day. I also want to say thank you to Ethan Davis who made my channel banner that I got at the moment. It's amazing, and it's up there right now. So yeah, I want to say thank you to him. The link to his channel will be down below in the description. And enjoy this video. But welcome to my college experience, part 9.5. Now I had to learn how to use the equipment. The camera was simple enough, you use the camera and it opens up like that. The camera was simple enough, but the tripod wasn't. I unscrewed a leg too much at one point and it just came off, fell off and hit the ground. Luckily it fit back on, but I was really worried, so I thought I'd broken it. So way before Christmas we knew about our filmmaking, and I planned it already because I was really excited to make it with professional equipment. I made a 2.5 minute horror film. You could either do that or a music video. But the music that you chose had to not have a music video already made. Now the only problem was it had to be an opener for a film. The second problem... Now I sent in my script to the BBFC, the British Board of Film Classification for Laughs. Now they decide what age rating to give things for cinemas and DVD releases. And so I got this email back. Dear Jamie, thanks for your email. They spelt Jamie wrong. At the 15 to 18 borderline, we would not expect to see the strongest gory images, or any strong violence that is sadistic in tone, or dwells on the infliction of pain and injury. No strong violence that's sadistic in tone, or dwells on the infliction of pain or injury. Basically, that's their way of saying, it's too graphic, calm down. Which, when I look back, I do agree. The original script had the main character being encouraged by the entity to jump to his death. So he jumps, he dies, and as he's dying, the song Humpty Dumpty plays. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Act 1 of my script was perfectly fine. Jake, who is the main character, goes to the doctor and gets a pill that's meant to help him treat his schizophrenia. But the pill separates his schizophrenia into a separate body, and that begins to terrorise him. I'm going to play the film later on with like sort of director's notes on it. And if you want to see the thing just as it is, it's in the My College Experience playlist. So I had to rewrite part 2 because, well, I had to rewrite part 2 so that it sets up the main plot that's never being filmed. Now that was quite hard because part 1 ends on Jake being perfectly fine and something now exists that's following him. I wanted to use things that would make the entity, who is the personification of Jake's schizophrenia, real. I had him interact with things, but only Jake can see this as the medication wears off. Because as mentioned in the first act, there's only one, and the side effects are unknown. Now I was faced with a problem. How do I make someone invisible on screen, or at least appear invisible? I had 3 options. 1, you work it so you don't actually see anything that the entity does, so like, you just cut to things that it's done. 2, have somebody just represent the coldness of the entity, so we can see them on screen, but only Jake will be able to see the character. Or 3, have things actually look like they were being manipulated by some sort of invisible force, which I thought would look scarier. Then I realised, okay, I need actors. I asked my drama group, who, as of recording this, we finished our drama performance now. That was on Thursday, which was 2 days ago, and they agreed to help me, luckily. I had to find out what dates people could film and how long. It was hard to do, but it was a good experience. It was like, okay, so there's these 3 people, here's their times that they can do. When can we work on this? Now, I play Jake, who is the schizophrenic who supposedly gets cured. Ewan plays the entity, the personification of Jake's schizophrenia, from the pill. Shakina plays Jake's doctor, and Ariaman plays Jake's friend, Amy. Now, Amy was actually a name I made up on the spot as I recorded the opener for part 2, where it starts off in the air and comes down. The name of the character wasn't important because, the character's not really in it that much. But I wanted to do a scene similar to in Matilda, where Matilda's writing on the chalkboard using her mind powers. And the chalk appears to float in the air. Now replace chalk with whiteboard pen, and that's what I wanted to do. It took a solid month to finish filming, just the filming. Well, I think it took it took longer than that. Filming day 1, right, we finished part 1, because the whole thing was split into part 1 and part 2.
Shemai, so, for my media short horror film opening that we got to do, I needed to get some things. So we got the 4 actors, or actresses, we got them. Me, Ewan, and the other 2 from my drama group. We needed a camera and a tripod in which I practiced using in the media lesson we had on Tuesday. Today is Wednesday, so yesterday. We started filming on Friday and Monday. I went to the shop earlier. I got some whiteboard pens, because I also need access to a whiteboard. We have these pills in our house, vitamin C pills, the orange. I think they'd be really good for the pill in our story. We need a doctor's jacket, which can just basically be a science coat. It's the same thing. And just some basic food for one of the actors to eat as well. This is all going good, ready to film.
Part 1 was quite hard because I didn't know where we were going to film. We ended up filming it in my media classroom. And that was the day that the fire alarm went off, so I had to leave all the stuff there, go outside for the fire alarm, come back inside, and that wasted time. I was restricted because if I wasn't careful, you would see the stacked tables and chairs. I managed to get about 70% of it done. I thought it was 100%, but the footage wasn't great on some of it. So I had 70% out of 50% of the work done. Out of the overall thing. Now this was on a Friday, round about the start of January, so yeah, it took about 2 months to film. I couldn't get any filming done on week 2, because one of the people in my group couldn't make it. Now this wasn't really a problem, because I thought, well, it's a 2.5 minute thing, that's fine, but we've already got 35% of it done. It just meant that I had to keep the camera and the tripod in my room for longer in the corner. Week 3, I was able to film on Monday, but only for an hour. This allowed me to get most of parts 2 done.
Shemai, so, I've also been out doing a bit of media filming as well for my short film. It's been about a month since I started this, so my hair's gone really long. Right. So, and also I'm not wearing the hoodie. So what I did was I filmed from my perspective. So the opposite of what I'm doing now really, so the camera would be facing outwards instead of at me. That way I can be myself, my character talking, but you don't need to see me to know it's me. Kind of cheating it a little bit, but the only reason I've had to do this instead is because the footage that we filmed is too quiet, and the wind is all like, so you can barely hear us. So I've had to do that instead, but luckily the weather's really nice today, so it's made that quite easy for me to do. But that is another segment of my media filming done.
I would say about 60% of it. So we had 70% of part 1, tick, and 60% of part 2, tick. I was starting to worry now though, because the unedited film was due in at the end of February, and it was coming, and it was the middle of February, right? Now I was thinking, well, I'll just film on Friday and get it over and done with. But I couldn't for a few reasons. I won't go into them here, but there was a few reasons I couldn't do it. So now I was getting desperate. Week 4? Week 4, I don't remember what we did on Monday. I didn't write this down, but not much got done, I don't think. I needed the Friday, which, thank God, all the right circumstances were there. The room was free, the actors were free. Yeah. I finished part 1. Now, for the scenes, I was able to refilm parts without needing the rest of the actors. Because, say now, you watching this video, you're a character in my film, and I'm going to play Jake. I can film from your perspective, filming me, so we don't need you, if that makes sense. It's quite cool. Now, part 2 was needed. I needed to reshoot what I call the Puddle Scene, which never ended up getting used, which is a reference to my first acting job, where I walk over a puddle on Casualty. And I thought it looked cool. If you want to see the first time I was on Casualty, there you go. The second time I haven't been able to film yet because it hasn't come out. There were shots that needed to be filmed for the first time as well. That was decent, but we hit one problem with the whiteboard. Because at the end, the entity writes stuff like, I'm coming for you, you did this, I blame you. But you can't see the first attempt of having words be visible on top of or around words. So we had to reshoot. The green screen and the whiteboard scenes were really difficult to do. I had 2 hours to do this. Then I had to reshoot the Act 1 parts because I was not very happy with my acting. It was very terrible. I was busy in front and behind the scenes though, so I did have a lot of pressure during this film. Now, I was almost done. I took inspiration from the Edgar Wright three flavour cornetto trilogy, when Sean is explaining his plan and there's lots of quick shots like this. And I thought it would be a great way to explain how I get from outside to inside college. But it could be anything, like Shaun is Dead, Hot Fuzz, The End of the World, The World's End, and the Scott Pilgrim film. Then I was done, and I can safely say I prefer being in front of the camera and not behind. It was way too much stress for those 2 months, and it was dependent on circumstance as well. Now that takes you to round about the end of February. Luckily the deadline was, it wasn't postponed, but the lessons after were when we were going to edit, so I was using editing lessons to film. Now we were meant to begin editing the film in class via Premiere Pro. And I did try to do so, but my first attempt went wrong in so many ways. I had the wrong aspect ratio, meaning my film was too big, so basically my film would look like this. YouTube tutorials weren't working, and when I finally managed to edit a 10-second clip into something decent, and I left the lesson, because it took like an hour to make a 10-second clip, it turned out someone had deleted my work off the Mac by the next lesson. I was furious. Hello, so let me show you what we've got so far. Here it is. I gotta be careful because of the college logos in there. I don't want to show it on camera. Right. Was it this one? I hope it was this one. I do hope it was. Comedic gold. Missing media. Uh-oh. Why are you missing media now? So I just did it off my phone instead of on the Mac at that point. I do it on this phone actually. I made it on this phone in Premiere Pro, in CapCut Pro and iMovie. That's how I constructed the film. The green screen parts where the entity is on screen was done in iMovie, but the addition of music, the putting of clips together, that sort of thing were done in CapCut Pro. I've been using that for years now with YouTube videos, so I consider myself very, very proficient in CapCut Pro. Part 1 was easy to put together. I finished it within a few hours, after I found the music, and which were all non-copyright music, and I got all my clips downloaded from OneDrive, the college OneDrive where I had all my clips. It was cool that I could go out, film on a camera, upload the camera footage to a Mac, put the footage on my college OneDrive and download it on my phone. It was a good thing really, and it allowed me to have all the clips on my phone very easily. Now there are 2 ways I could use this green screen. You can either A, take a photo of the exact background as the film shot as you're filming, so photo and then the rest of me filming, or you can have the shot begin but with the green screen actor not in shot, so you have already this background, and you have them walk into the shot. As you film then, the green screen actor gets into the scene and begins.
Borada. So my plan at the moment is to finish filming my my media short film. So I was ready to finish the filming for the absolute final time. You know, I got my camera, got this tripod here from the college, but no, I forgot one of the most vital props for the second part that we're filming, the whiteboard pens. Now I've got to go over to Poundland and go and get them. Got that, and there we go. Right, so as you can see, here is the tripod I have put up. Now, I mean, it's not even 10 o'clock yet, and I am already quite tired. I've had to run to Poundland back to get whiteboard pens. Right, so, here's my camera again. Now, to put this on top of the tripod, we've got to be very careful. Put the screw, line up the screw with the camera. There we go. I'm going to turn it off actually, to screw this on. And then you've got to spin it round. You spin my head right round. I don't think the tripod should be spinning though, and lowering. Alright then, we'll go with that. We'll improvise it. The camera's getting tight though, because I can let go of it now without the camera falling. It's just not as sturdy as I'd like it to be. I'll do. That will do. Awesome. So now we can move the camera there. We can open the camera. We can have some water. These are free downstairs. It's cool. I needed that. Right. So I need, if I just bring you here. Right. As you can see here, we've got the camera, but it's on a sort of slant. So if I pull out that leg a bit, it'll go downwards and look a lot nicer. I've now got to look into continuity to make sure that this looks identical to the last time we shot here.
The second technique is better, because with the photo, it has to be absolutely identical to the shot, or it won't work at all. Green screen is really difficult to work with, especially if you don't know, if you barely know what you're doing with it.
Right. Hang on. I am in full green, apart from this half, because I can't do anything, I can't touch anything with this, because it just doesn't register on a phone or a camera. I've got to wear this, because the films, the bits that we did with Ewan, I don't have the bits that will allow him to be invisible. So I've got to redo those scenes, because I'm in the lesson right now. So, I just set up the camera, there we go. Right. The first thing we did was the first thing I've got to do is the floating pen scene. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to keep the camera recording, get ready, and then just cut out the bits I need. There we are. So we've got the camera recording here and the scene here. Just to make sure you can see this, here we go. I'm going to leave the phone here because I want to show you what we're doing. Well, what I'm doing. This is a solo project. Although the actors in my film are very nice. They've helped me a lot. But this is like I'm only getting assessed on it, if that makes sense. I look like a muppet in this, but oh well. It's cool. I've got this on the wrong way because I'd be there struggling for ages trying to find the zip on the back. And you don't see the front of me anyway, you can see this line. So it works out. Right, so the next bit I've got to write. Ignore the noise, you won't hear it in the film because it's been silent. The next bit is I blame you. Okie dokie. So set the camera up. Camera's recording. The I blame you Matilda based scene. I forgot what the red pen is. Everything looks green. There we go. Okay, and continue. Not sure how much of that I'm happy with because I've turned around. Okay, and yeah, I want to be careful that the sun's not in the way of this. Here we go. The last thing I've got to film now is "I'm Coming for You," which is going to be on the board there. Right. So "I'm Coming for You." That's the next. That's the next bit. Camera on. I will say I very much prefer being in front of the camera than behind it. I do like that. I'm going to do it in the space below it, but in a different colour, I reckon, this time. But then red is quite nice. I don't know. Because if I mess this up, I've got to do all these takes again. That's what I'm worried about. But then it does need to be emphasised, so I do need to only have, I need to be careful. That's what I'm trying to say. Right, here we go. The "I'm coming for you" line. I'm not sure if green screen will perfectly align because I've got the red whiteboard pen. Should work, should be fine. As long as they don't overlap. Can't have things overlapping. Hood on. Zip. Everything looks green. Am I recording? I am recording. It's quite hard to see. Okie dokie. And action. Cool. Hoping that works.
When it came time to edit it, now this was really hard because I hadn't organised my clips in the OneDrive, so I had to find each one in my OneDrive, download them onto my phone, and then sort of hope I had the right ones. Part 1 was done very easily from the get-go. It ended up just being about over a minute long, and I added in some music, but the beginning looked quite boring with just the doctor talking and the camera moving, so I made the screen quite dreamy. What I did was when the doctor was speaking, I had them talk in slow motion with some zone out music. This is my second favourite sequence in the film. Later I'll play the film and I'll highlight key info as it plays. Now part 1 is Jake goes to the doctor, Jake gets the pill, he reacts violently to it for a second, feels better, walks out, and then something invisible follows him and shuts the door behind him. The doctor's speech brings us from part 1 to part 2 because the camera zooms out into the window, into just a lovely blue, the sky. And then in part 2 it comes from the sky downwards. Part 2 was notorious. It took ages to film. Part of the footage didn't work, like the puddle scene I wanted to do, but I couldn't get Ewan to be invisible and have the puddle splash. As you can see, the first shoe walks on perfectly fine. That's me. But then you've got the entity walking across the puddle, but it doesn't splash. So not only is it a continuity error because Ariane was walking to the side of me before I go through the puddle, but also it's a physics error because the puddle doesn't splash. And also, yeah, it's a continuity error because before we go into the puddle, me and Ariane are walking sideways. Cut to the puddle scene, it's Ariane, me, entity. I finally managed to edit the film. After that, several scenes were cut. I'm now going to play you the film. Do enjoy, and you'll see all the production notes around it.
Hello, Mr. Jackson. Please take a seat. Nothing else has worked. This experimental drug is still in trial.
Sorry, Doctor.
No, I said nothing else has worked so far, but we have been given this experimental drug and would like to offer it to you. We only have one of these as they are still in trial, but the side effects have yet to be identified.
Thanks, Doctor. I feel much better already.
Okay, I'll see you back in 1 week from now.
Thank you. Take care.
It's too good to be true. Just a shame we weren't given the supplier.
Well, that was certainly interesting. I do feel like a whole weight's been taken off my shoulders. I do feel a lot better. Right then, so the plan now is to go and meet Amy in English and sit through another one of Lynn's lessons. Here we go.
Shut this out.
I don't know what that doctor did, but whatever it was worked. Fair play, mate. I haven't seen you this happy in years.
Yeah, apparently she gave me the pill from an unknown supplier or something. I don't know, but I do feel a lot better. And I think we're going to be a lot earlier than English than we thought, so let's chill out for a bit. Oh yeah, I've forgotten the homework from Lynn. She keeps giving out all this homework every lesson, and we're all there like practically begging her to steer us from another poetry analysis, like some sort of English parrot. I get that she's trying to help us, I get that, but it's never helped before now. Look! Can you see that?
See what?
That!
Hello, Mr. Jackson. Please take a seat. Nothing else has worked. This experimental drug is still in trial.
Sorry, Doctor.
No, I said nothing else has worked so far, but we have been given this experimental drug and would like to offer it to you. We only have one of these as they are still in trial, but the side effects have yet to be identified.
Thanks, Doctor. I feel much better already.
Okay, I'll see you back in 1 week from now.
Thank you. Take care.
It's too good to be true. Just a shame we weren't given the supply.
Well, that was certainly interesting. Right then, so the plan now is to go and meet Amy in English and sit through another one of Lynn's lessons. Here we go.
Shut this out.
Look! Can you see that?
See what?
That! But that was the film. So the making of it has been very busy and it took about 5 months overall, but it was 100% worth it. I won't lie, I found the film quite cheesy, but it's enjoyable. Hitting download on it for the final time and seeing the complete thing in my camera roll was so satisfying. If you would like to watch the entire thing completely without the notes all over the screen, have a look in the My College Experience playlist. There you'll see the WJEC cut and the director's cut. The director's cut one is about 3 minutes long. I think it's 3 minutes and 20 seconds to be precise. This is my complete, I'm finished with the film, this is how I like it film. The WJEC cut is a minute shorter because well, it fits in with the specifications. The film has to be 2.5 minutes long maximum, so I had to cut out a minute of film. But yeah, you can see the difference, see what I took out, and yeah. I hope you enjoyed the film, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, guys. Be sure to like, subscribe. Have a good day. Don't forget to drink hot chocolate. Stay safe, and from me, it's goodbye for now.